Hi, and welcome to this series of webcasts on using the GPT algorithms to play StarCraft II. You can see on the screen a game of StarCraft playing. Our player is playing as a Terran race, and we're against a Zerg opponent. You can see we've already got a few offensive units, and they're chasing off the bad guys from our base. And I'm using the GPT-4 algorithm hosted in the Microsoft Azure OpenAI service. GPT-4 is an interesting model for developing the strategy for a StarCraft game. So let's go into GPT chat and we'll ask it, can you play StarCraft II? And it's responding, hello, this is Bing. I'm afraid I can't play StarCraft II, but I can tell you some information about it. And it's giving us some basic information about the game. Okay, well let's try a slightly different strategy. I'll create a new topic and I'm going to paste in this prompt. If we look at the prompt, we're telling GPT that it's playing StarCraft as Protoss against a Zerg opponent. And then we're providing it with a current game state. In the statistics, we're specifying the game time, supply cap, and supplies used. We're mentioning the number of resources that we've gathered. We're also telling the language model the structures and units that we've got currently created. What we can do then is provide it with a number of different options for creating a build list. And we can also give it two main game strategies. One of them is to defend the base, and the other one is to attack the enemy base. And in the prompt, I'm giving it a bit of guidance about when to use these different strategies, and also providing examples of how it should return the strategy in its response. We then ask it to summarise the thoughts about the strategy decisions that it's going to be making. And this will help us to understand the reasoning behind the decision. Then, based on those thoughts, we're asking the language model to choose the next 20 options in the game strategy. Again, we're doing a bit of prompt engineering here, telling it that it must only specify the options that are present on the list. And this is much better. Bing is saying that it can help us with this StarCraft II game. So we can see the thoughts, you can see that it understands about the Zerg's abilities, and it's analysing the statistics of the game and making decisions based on those statistics. And you can see that it's making a decision to attack the enemy base with offensive units, and also continue to build more units and structures to reinforce the army and expand the strategy. And then we've got the output. The strategy is to attack the enemy base, and it's come up with a build list of the units we can consider building. And I've used this technique to build this implementation. You can see here we've got the game statistics, describing the resources, structures and units that we've currently got available. And we can then include this in a prompt and make a call to the GPT-4 API. The API is going to come back with a response. We can see the strategy is to defend the base, and we've got a list of units to build. So once we've got that build list, we can use code within the bot to be able to generate these various units. And based on that strategy, we can manage resources, build an army, and make a decision on when to attack the enemy base. You can see here that we're currently defending the base. We've got some bad guys coming in, but our army is strong enough to defeat them. We're now 11 minutes into the game. We're asking GPT for a strategy decision, and here it's chosen to attack the enemy base. So let's jump back to the game and follow the units as they make this attack. So you can see we've got quite a strong army, and we're storming into the enemy base. The code that controls the units when we're defending the base and attacking the enemy base is written in Python, so that code is taking care of all of the micromanagement of the units. The whole macro management and strategy of the game is driven by GPT. So you can see that we've defeated the enemy now, so we can accept their surrender and we've got a local player victory. I learnt a lot of these coding techniques and about building StarCraft AIs from watching CentDex's series of videos, which was published a few years ago. And he was looking at using reinforcement learning based on the map images from StarCraft to be able to evolve an AI that can learn the game. And I've also looked at this using a couple of different techniques. I've experimented with using genetic algorithms to optimize the build orders, and also training a simple neural network to make decisions in the game based on the current game state. And the code that I'm using for the bot service is from the Bernie SC2 repository on GitHub. And this has been updated fairly recently to reflect the latest changes in the StarCraft game. And the GitHub page provides details on installing the game and creating basic bots. In the following videos in this series, I'll be running through the implementation of the solution. We'll be focusing on looking at the differences between the language models in terms of the quality of the responses, experimenting with prompt engineering in order to generate the most optimal results, and also taking a scientific approach to analysing how well a model is performing. And you can see here I'm using TensorBoard to track the statistics during the games, so we can analyse the performance of using different prompts and using different language models. So click subscribe if you want to be notified when I publish new videos.